Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. Hello. I'm coming to you from, we'll pretend it's Tuesday, December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. instead of 12:01 p.m. I really thought I was going to get on here earlier today because I kind of had my stuff together. And then I don't know what happened. I just kind of putz around sometimes. It's crazy. So let me get my devices set up here. And we'll do a couple of quick announcements and we'll get going. All right, I think we're ready to go. So, as you join in, if you missed part of it, please go back and watch the replay. Let me know where you're joining from. It's always fun to see where everybody's coming on from. We have basically global group that pops in here from time to time. We've got Australia, New Zealand, and Finland, and Germany, Canada, all across the United States. So welcome. Feel free to join in the conversation. Usually when I'm doing my crafting, I welcome suggestions and we kind of roll with it. I do not have a prototype of the card that we're going to do. I kind of have an idea in mind and then we'll just see how it goes. So look what my husband got me today. MacMan got me my all-time little favorite candy. My mother used to get me chocolate covered cherries every year for Christmas. So he's carrying on her tradition, which is kind of fun. It almost brought a tear to my eye. Cyber Monday. Prepaid paper pumpkin subscriptions are on sale now until December 9th. When you get a prepaid subscription, you do automatically get the December kit. So if you already have a paper pumpkin subscription, make sure that you suspend December unless you want to get multiple kits, which is you can certainly do. Just make sure that you're not getting more kits than you want. Subscription period normally ends on the 10th, but the sale only goes through the 9th, so beware of that. Virtual online class. You can order this through my online store, which is now latenightlory.stampinup.net. More on that in a minute. The class itself is $30. You can order that through my online store with item number 170074. There is also a suite that is featured. There are 2 cards, a box, and a single page scrapbook layout, if I remember correctly. I haven't watched mine. All right. So this was from November 20th. It is still available. Okay. It's like 2.5 hours. A design artist and a concept artist lead the class. We get tips and tricks and suggestions and all kinds of fun stuff. The first class, which was October, is still available, but it is on the last chance list because the suite that was featured is a seasonal suite. And since this will be phased out with the mini catalog that ends January 5th or 6th, I believe, this Traditions of Christmas virtual class will phase out as well. So if you want it, get it now. Product of the month started. This is pretty cool. Designer Series paper is the product for December when you make a qualifying purchase, which is a $75 purchase before tax and shipping. You will have the option of adding on this beautiful paper. So this is 12 sheets. They're 2-sided. There's 6 designs. So just like a regular full-size pack of Designer Series paper, you can add that on for $5. You are only allowed 1 product of the month for any given month. So you can only get 1 December, you can only get 1 January, 1 February, etc. If you don't get the product in the month that it happens, and if there's still some left in a future month, as long as you make separate qualifying purchases, you can get that product again. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, send me a message. I'll help you figure it out. This, the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. This is an all occasion kit. Even though it looks like it's Christmas, it's intended for a Christmas gift. Cindy and somebody else from Stampin' Up! Right now started doing an opening. So on the 1st, they started opening the windows. So if you don't follow the Stampin' Up! General page, the Facebook group, you'll want to do that because they show the product and then I think they're doing a quickie project. I didn't look at the one from Tuesday, but I did see the one on Monday. So there's all kinds of goodies in here. There's dies, there's DSP. The dies I put on a separate card, so I don't have my dies in here. There's ephemera, there's decorative mask with a blending brush, there's more ephemera, there's glitter glue, there are embellishments, more embellishments, twine. Oh yeah, these puffy embellishments. It's really a fun kit. I did a whole series using recipes from Stamping Up. So if you purchase this from me through my online store, which is latenightlory.stampinup.net, I will gift you the recipes. Keep in mind, I can't sell these, but I can share it with you. It doesn't give measurements. It just tells you what projects or products are used. And then if there was like a product that was missed in the instructions, if I made a note of it on my instructions, I'll let you know. But I also have marked on here what day I did YouTube lives. So you can go back and see me put together the projects. All right, there's one I didn't do, which was like this little miniature, kind of like a key ring photo album. That just didn't pique my interest, so I just didn't do it. All right, so enough on that. But this would make a great gift. All you'd have to do is put a ribbon or a bow on it and give it to your favorite crafter. And if you're a demonstrator, whether you're a hobby demonstrator, a community coach, a business builder, just a current kidnapper, you get a discount on all of your things. So it's on sale every day when you're a demonstrator. The new mini catalog is in my hot little hands. I cannot show you the inside of the catalog because it does not go live until January 6th, but I can show you the cover. I can show you any of the products that I get in my hot little hands, and I can show you things that I make with those products, but I can't show you the inside of the catalog. Demonstrators are not allowed to do that until it goes live for everybody. So stay tuned. I got another shipment yesterday. So hopefully I'll be making more projects soon. Hello, Ann Percival. Yeah, Percival? Welcome from Australia. I don't think I've seen your name pop up here before. Thank you for letting me know where you're coming from. And I didn't mean to ignore you, but I know the comments are just slightly delayed when I watch a video. All right, so I don't purposely ignore people. So the last little announcement I have for today is I do have a new online store link. So let me straighten this out a little bit too, because I think I'm a little crooked. Let's see if that works. I have a new online store link. So if you want to shop with me, obviously, Anne, you can't because you're in another country, but there are lots of good demonstrators in Australia that you can hook up with, unless you're already a demonstrator. Are you a demonstrator already? At any rate, my new store is latenightlory.stampinup.net. So I'm going to leave that up here, but I thought I would share this. I'll try to remind everybody at the end as well. So if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to make some purchases or you need some creative coaching, I am more than happy to help you out with that. Well, you're already a demonstrator, so you already know all the good deals. Awesome. And you get your discount. So perfect. So I am going to case a card that Stampin' Up! Did on Tuesday. So you are, and you're probably at like, let's see, 5 p.m.-ish on Wednesday, depending on where you are, like maybe 5 p.m. Is that right? Because I think in Australia, you gals that join me are 17 hours ahead of us. And it is just a little after midnight here in Wisconsin in the United States. So here's a couple of the cards that we did I was good. All right, 5 o'clock-ish. So here's a couple of the cards we did over the last couple of nights. This is cased from the product of the month flyer that I had yesterday. This is the card I cased. And if you just had them in a lineup, you probably wouldn't even really notice that those are the same layout. Okay, so that's what I did with that layout. I'm going to do another one that was shared today. This just used the same suite of products. This is that Peace on Earth collection. So today I'm going to hopefully do just a quickie card. I always say it's going to be quick, but you just never know. So I've got a Night of Navy base that's 8.5 by 5.5. And I selected Night of Navy because that product of the month designer series paper is Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. I had also pulled out the Balmy Blue, but I couldn't find any designer series paper that I really liked. So I thought we'd get a little creative here. So I usually take my cardstock, a full sheet, score once down the whole length of my cardstock, and then I turn it and I cut it in half so that I have 2 card bases, either so I can work on 2 cards at the same time or so that I've got a card base all ready for next time. And I also have just a couple of scraps here that we might not end up using because I did something different. This card design actually uses, and let me try to zoom in just a little bit maybe. This card design uses a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. So this is actually from, what's it called? It is the Peaceful Garden designer series paper. So I just took one of my 12x12 sheets and cut it down to 6x6. And then this is the Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. So I am using the blue as opposed to the dark green or soft green. So I'm going to show you as if we were going to use both sides of this designer series paper. If I used cloud cover, that would probably work, but I like the contrast between these two. So I'm going to show you how we cut this out. It's kind of like a one-sheet wonder. So we're going to take this, and if you've got a directional design, you want to watch carefully that both sides, excuse me, you want to make sure that both sides are right side up when we put it on the paper, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, we're going to cut 3/4 of an inch off the bottom, all right? And then we're going to turn it like this, and I'm just going to hang on to this one, and we're going to go to 2.5. And just make sure you've got it straight with your grid lines on your trimmer. So we've got 2.5. And then we're going to have 2 pieces that are 1 3/4. All right, because that's what's left. So we had 3.5. So 1 3/4, those are equal. All right, so these are the pieces that we have. All right, I essentially want to end up with 4 pieces that are 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of this one. I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4. And then this little smidge is of no use to me. Some people keep all their little scraps. I do not. I have enough paper in my studio space that I do not need more scraps. All right. So let's get the trimmer out of the way. What we're going to end up doing is I am actually going to swap that piece out for the glimmer. All right. We're going to pretend that this is the back side to this. All right. It's not, but we're going to pretend. We will pretend. Hi, Yuda. Welcome. So this is going to go on here. However, I think I may want a border of white just to set it off, because that's going to kind of be like this. Okay. Something like that. So I do have thick basic white. Let me go grab a piece of regular white, basic white. And I'm going to cut that down. So instead of 5.5, I'm going to go to 5 7/16. I've been doing that a lot lately, the 16ths. And then instead of 4 1/4, we're just going to go a 1/16 of an inch shorter there. And that should get me a nice little layer. How are you today, Yuda? So this will get me just the littlest border on here. And I'm just going to lay this out here because that is really narrow. Let's see how this looks. This is going to go here. This is going to go over here. This is going to end up going here. That's pretty flashy, but I think it'll be all right. Let's do just a smidge more off this white layer. Oh, how much snow did you get, Yuda? We had 11.5 inches the other day. And then we got more overnight, so my husband was out clearing snow again today. And Anne is very lucky because she's got summer right now. Five inches is still quite a bit. All right, I think this is a little bit better. It gives us a little bit more of a border that we can see. We're going to put this here, and that's still good. And then this is going to go here. And this will go here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here. Hopefully I remembered enough of what Stampin' Up! Showed us that I can recreate their card. But again, they were using the Product of the Month Designer Series paper. It's called the True Blue Florals. And I am a liquid glue fan just because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room when I go to set things down. Hello, Juju. Welcome. Anne, is this your first time to my channel, or have you silently watched in the past? There, I just needed to straighten out that corner a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and attach this here in the middle-ish. Now you can see me moving my glue all over, but I don't use very much. It's just a very light layer. I used to tell my granddaughter told me that in school she learned ... not a lot. But now she's trying to scribble with her glue like I do. She just can't control the flow very well. All right, I think that works. And this is glittery paper, and I do have a couple of little pieces on my hands, but not like horrible glitter. So now with this piece, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to fold back these corners. And I think what we'll do, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on here, and we're going to stick this right to the edge. So just put adhesive on the far end. And again, if you're using different designer series paper to recreate this, if you've got a directional paper, one that's got a right side up and a right side down, like if you have it upside down, it's going to be really obvious, like the Turtley Sweet paper maybe. If the turtles were upside down, you might not want that. And we're just going to glue that over there. Hello, Susan. Nice sunny Melbourne. So we have two of our Aussies here. Anne is here from, oh, I guess you didn't tell me where in Australia, Anne. I just knew it was Australia. So 5:22-ish p.m. on Wednesday for you ladies. All right, and this one we're just going to put over on the edge here. And I added a little layer here from what Stampin' Up! Demonstrated today because I like the finished look of that white border. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this out. Now, you could measure, and I'm trying to think how far down they went. That's maybe 2 3/4, because that would about get us at the middle. And all they did was fold it over, so you can see the back side of the paper. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here, and I'm not going to measure so much as I'm just going to try to get it to match. My washing machine is done. I made homemade ice cream tonight, and I had it setting in the freezer, getting ready for the little mini churner that I have. And I expected it to be a little bit more set because I hadn't churned it yet. And it was very wet, and it splashed all over the little rug, so I'm washing the rug. So, Juju, you used your Stampin' Up! Color cards to fix your jelly prints. Awesome. Beautiful. And we're going to fold this one back too. And we'll just try to make that kind of match here. Hopefully this won't look too strange with the glimmer in there, but I wanted it to look kind of flashy. So basically on that one, I folded back a little too far. Basically what this would do is the centerpiece would be the same as the inside piece because you flip it, right? So if we're doing a 6x6, those of you that came in late, we did a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. I cut off 3/4 of an inch, turned it, like make believe this is 6x6. I cut off 3/4 of an inch and set that aside. And then I turned it, and we cut 2.5 and then 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. So the bigger piece is what goes in the middle. I just swapped it out for the glimmer paper because I thought it would be pretty. And then you flip over the other two so that you're looking at the other side. And then as you fold these out, you get kind of this fun fold. It almost looks like that Starburst card that I showed you the other night. Let's see if I can find that one again. Here it is. So it's kind of like this, only easier. You know, where you've got the angled, the little wedges in there. So we're going to put a sentiment on here, but I'm going to slice this so that we can have it bordered a little bit. What do you think of that? So we could either have it bordered wide. Oh, maybe that would work rather than up and down, because that would flow into there. If we bordered it wide, then we'll have some glimmer on each side. I kind of like that. So we're just going to cut this in half, up and down. Like a bow tie on its side, exactly. And then when I do my glimmer, I mentioned this the other day, I turn it upside down so that my blade's not going right through the glimmer. It just seems to go easier for me. So we're going to do like this. And this. So not a whole lot, because we don't want those edges. We could trim them a little bit, the little corners on these, so that they don't show. We might not need to, but maybe I should just take a smidge off just for good measure. And I'm just flipping it over to the white side because it's easier for me to see without all that glimmer showing in my eyes. All right, so we're going to hang on to those. And then we're going to go ahead and put a sentiment on here. And I thought we would do wonder and wishing you a year of wonder. So I think what I'll do is, last night, remember, I did some clear embossing powder over the sentiment. I think we're going to do that again today. So let's get out my Pearson mat. Let's get some Versamark, some tools. I guess I can get rid of this. And we want the clear powder. So let's go ahead and just do a little embossing here, or de-staticking. I don't want to get powder all over that. And then what I'm going to do is, my Night of Navy is at the ready. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it with the Versamark first. That's my slow drying ink, so that's going to be the top. Oh, you found your embossing buddy, yay. The tweezers will show up at some point. I'm sure they will. All right, and then we're going to add the Night of Navy here. And I'm going to put this down just a little bit. And put that there. And I'm just going to hold it there for a couple of seconds. And then we'll put some embossing powder on here. This is the clear. So when I flipped over that stamp, of course, I want to do the colored ink last. I do the Versamark first because I don't want colored ink in my Versamark pad, right? But I put the Versamark so that that's touching the stamp initially, so that when I stamp off, that's the sticky part that's showing. We'll use our little tweezers here. And I guess I need to switch this because of being left-handed. Makes a difference for me. And then we'll just let some magic happen here. And because it's clear embossing powder, I can see that there's a little over here. It probably wouldn't even matter because it's clear. I just love the embossing powder. Heat embossing is just so magical. And now it's got a really pretty shimmer. And then I just look and make sure that all of it's shiny so that I know it's all set. And then I can put this set of things away. And we need this out because we're going to do this wishing you a year of wonder. Oh, I smeared it. No! I'll have to do another one of those. It happens, right? And I can't flip this over because it has a rim on here. So I just wonder if I stamp that on another piece. Let's try this again, see if I can get it. That one didn't smear, so let's just see if I can fix this somehow by just trimming it out. I don't know how this will look. I may just end up doing a whole nother piece. Hello, Linda Dickinson. Welcome. So let's see if I can cut this at an angle and put that up on dimensionals. Maybe I should just fussy cut. That was for you, Juju. So let's just put this curve on here. And we'll see if I can fix it or if I just need to do another one. I may just end up having to do another one. Can you even see my smudge on there? You can't even see the smudge, but it's smudged. It's pretty bad right there. We'll see how this looks. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I will likely have to do that piece over. So we're gonna cut one right away even. So if we do this like so. It will have a dent in the top of it. My little wishing you a year of. It will have a dent in the top of it because that'll match the dent that's in the big one, the big piece. So I'm also going to go and I'm going to put a little dent in the bottom and make that a little curvy too. Let's just see how stupid it looks. Okay, so Anne, you're in Canberra. I'll have to look at a map. How far away is that from Melbourne? All right, so you can see I didn't get this angled quite right, but I'm not sure if anybody would notice. So let's just do another piece because I'm going to want to do this over because I'm just not going to be happy with it. So we'll just cut on a fresh one because I'll need to make myself happy that way. Colleen Casey, this has got to be like Australia night. Or South Pacific night, maybe I should say. Welcome, everybody. All right. And then I'm just going to cut another one for good measure in case I mess it up too. All right. I'm going to put that on my magnet. All right, let's get this out of the way. And let's try this again because, oh, what I was going to say I could try to do is take a stylist. I have to go grab a stylist. Hang on. And a little ruler, and I could make little lines here like it belongs there. And nobody would ever know. They'll never know. See, you can't even tell that I messed it up, right? But I don't know how that would look. What do you think? If I put a bunch of dimensionals on that, let's just take a look. I'm going to use up some of my little edge pieces here. Yeah. Positive thinking. I'm positive I'm going to mess it up. Or I'm positive that I'm not going to like it. It's all in your perspective, right? And I know nobody's going to see that, but it's really crooked, and I don't like that either. All right. So Craftin on the back 40 is Juju. Of course, that's her nickname. Juju, you can decide if you want to disclose your real identity. I know. What do you think of that? That's not so bad, actually. So if this goes here, I don't want to attach these yet, just in case we decide to do another one. So we could do this here. And then I also did a couple of these cloud cover sprigs. So we could just tuck that under there. What do you think of that? That was actually a pretty easy fun fold, don't you think? And then this piece will be for the inside. So if we do, I got a little scrap in here. Ria, welcome. We got all the crowd here tonight. All the familiar names. So I think we're gonna do 4. Well, we can do this. Well, I'm just gonna do this a little bit big. And then instead of 5 1/4, again, I'm not gonna measure. I'm just gonna eyeball this because I'm just gonna give it a little bit of border here. So we're gonna take off about 3/8 of an inch. All right, so this will go on the inside, and this white layer is sized about the same as the one on the front. And now I'm just thinking too that maybe I want to put a piece of glimmer with that on the inside so that it kind of pulls the outside to the inside. Were you out of town for Thanksgiving, Rhea? There was a lot of that going around. We actually had the first of our turkey leftovers really today because we did not host Thanksgiving this year. So I made a turkey for us yesterday, and well, I guess we did had some of it yesterday as our fresh turkey, and then we had leftover today. Or was that the other way around? I lose track of time. So what do you think of that? That'll go on the inside. Yep, Yuta is Yuta. Yeah, you need a vacation from your vacation. Isn't that how it usually is? Oh, how old is the grandbaby, Rhea? So do we like this all right with that piece up there, or should I do another one? And then do we want to keep these behind, or should I try to tuck? Oh, I can't really tuck those in there because I did dimensionals all over that. You like it? Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to use tear and tape on here for these pieces just because the glimmer, I don't know how well the liquid glue will hold. It'll probably do all right. Maybe I should do glue on one and tear and tape on the other one and see what works better. That sounds like a plan. So I'm going to put glue on the one side. Yeah, it was super easy. And I'm just going to show just a little bit of the glimmer here. And there's just a little bit that peeks out over the top and the bottom. I know, we do have to do it all over again. That's why Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, I think. Because I don't have all that added stress of all the gift giving. Thanksgiving is just lots of cooking, baking, and eating. And I'm all in with that, right? So let's do a little tear and tape here. We'll see if there's a difference in holding power. I feel like all the friends are here. It's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name, right? Whoops. Oh, you get to do the table decorations, huh? I have done that. Our family has kind of gotten, it's a small family. We don't have a whole lot of people. But because we didn't host, I didn't have to do decoration things, but this one doesn't want to come off of here. Let's try to burnish this a little bit more. I have, you know, when I've hosted it, I've done like a nice tablecloth and placemats and, you know, fanciness. But when you get little kids and they just want to eat and play, some of that stuff just goes by the wayside. Oh, 20 to 26 people. Free for all buffet at Christmas. Yeah, that's fun though. We did buffet style for both of our Thanksgivings. So my husband's daughter hosted one of them, and then his brother and his wife hosted the other one. So this is going to come here. Maybe I should do those sprigs so that they kind of go in the middle there so that they show a little bit more. Should I do both of them at the top or one going each way? You're blessed to have that much family, really. Don't you think? It's a lot of work, but that's a lot of legacy. And then this, well, I guess you like the two at the top. Yeah, that struck me kind of at the end that would be kind of fun. So let's put, oh, we've got some at the top. We got two people staying at the top. and one saying each way. Kind of like the fullness at the top. Do we want me to do another version of this? Do we want to do 2 cards tonight or 1? I think I'll do this one on top. So actually we could take part of this off. Linda, you like one each way, huh? Oh, sorry, Ria, that does make it kind of sad. A little melancholy, right? And I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. Colleen, you say one going each way also? I like it doubled up there though, so let's just, what if we, I wonder, since I trimmed these off, I can trim this one so it kind of looks like a top leaf maybe? No, I think I'm going to have to cut another one. Because I don't think that looks natural enough. So let me see. Oops. Oh, there. I thought maybe I had it going over the edge. That would not have been good. And then I ended up not getting that one to the center point anyway. So let's see. That came out of the Label Me Grateful. Did it? Where are those dies? Here they are. 2 up, 1 down. All right, and let me go get another piece of the cloud cover because that's what I did those in, is the cloud cover. And let's just move this over here because we're going to bring out little Betsy again. I think it'll still have a nice balance with 2 out of the top and 1 out of the bottom. Maybe this time. There we go. All right. And then that will go there. And that'll have to go kind of off to the side-ish too. So let's put a little tear and tape there. Well, it's one of those things where, Rhea, we have to kind of count our blessings, right? We lost my mom a few years ago, right before Thanksgiving, well, about a month before Thanksgiving, and it changes the dynamic of the holiday. All right, so I need more dimensionals over here. Yay me, I emptied out another dimensional sheet, including all of the little bones. Oh, and Juju, I did reach out to Fifi. I let her know you said hello, and she said to make sure you knew she said hello back. All right, let's see how this little gem works. I think that's pretty. And so easy. So now let's go ahead and put this on the inside. Yeah, she was doing good, just she has just been busy. I think with the holidays and everything, she did not do a Make It Monday this week because she had had so much going on last week, I guess. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this on here. I think that gives it a nice offsetting flash. And then I did not notice any difference between the multi-purpose liquid glue and the tear and tape on these. They're both adhered just fine. So let's go ahead and put glue on this one. You're welcome, Rhea. It's like we're all friends here, right? You look out for each other, you feel bad for each other, you celebrate with each other in all the different seasons. And I guess these are going to be end to end. I think that's kind of glam, hey? I'm going to go pick up my glass blowing project tomorrow. So on the other side, oh, how fun. Your daughter just found out she's pregnant. How fun. Kind of that circle of life, you know? And then I think we need some gems. Let me go get, should we have these blue? Yes, congratulations. Absolutely. That's a very appropriate sentiment there. So should we color these, do you think? Or leave them just gem-ish? I don't know that I've got any other. I have so many gems. I wish we would get more Night of Navy gems. So you're thinking it's a boy? Oh boy. Fun. Babies are fun. We just had the end of July a grandbaby, and then earlier in November, October 23rd or 24th, babies. So the family is very excited because both moms have had troubles getting pregnant their first time. This is like the second and third for my husband's brother and his wife. So they're very happy to have more grandchildren. All right, so let's figure out where we want these. I think they just need to be on here so that they don't get lost in the glimmer. Hello, Vicky. Your snowmen were very cute tonight. I saw Juju left just after I came in, I think. All right, so there's that one. So should we do it again? Or is everybody tired? Vicky just got here, so, you know, I don't want her to think that it was something she said. Everybody ditches out all of a sudden, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure these dies get back in the right packs. All right, go for it. Go for another one, huh? All right, so now we need to figure out what paper. I really like this. That's pretty. We could have done a little bit of ribbon on there somewhere too, because this ribbon is gorgeous. We could have probably tucked that under the foliage, but the glimmer paper is probably enough. So should we use the same set of paper? Oh, it took them almost 2 years to get pregnant the first time. Yeah, both of these nephews and their wives, they had to actually go through fertility treatments. So these are very expensive children already for them. And this one they didn't even have to try. That's awesome. I think sometimes it's just the stress of trying to get pregnant. Oh, you're on for an all-nighter? Well, I did take a nap earlier. I was so tired because I only slept like 3.5 hours last night because our granddaughter was here and I wanted to get up to make sure that I saw her before she went to school, and she likes me to put her hair up for her before she goes to school. So I needed to make sure I was up for that, and then I just stayed up. So, all right, so we're going to do the blues again. Colleen, thank you. As long as it's not dinner time by you, you're good with more card making, right? Yeah, stress, you know, they might not realize how much stress they feel, but you hear about it a lot. You know, I saw it a lot when I was working at the hospital too. All right, so let me get the blue paper, or do we want to do snowflakes? She's my buddy. She had to be resuscitated at birth. We were there for the birth, and they couldn't get her to cry. So I went over, and I was afraid that, you know, we weren't going to have a good outcome. And so I asked if I could go over by her and take some pictures just in case, you know, it wasn't good. So they let me come over, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, baby, you gotta cry, baby. And she started to cry, and I'm like, I didn't pinch her, I swear. So she and I we have a bond, and she's a special little girl. She's got a big piece of my heart, I tell ya, those grandkids. So I have 2 full sheets of this, but I don't know if we want to do, this is just so random, like these should all be cut out. What do you think? Should I use this one and do it on Lost Lagoon maybe? We could do like the lapels with this color. Or maybe that won't work. Let's see what I've got. So I don't know how, I had 2 full packs. So I've got, that one is a full sheet. We can cut down to 6 by 6. I've got this one. I don't know if I would like that as lapels or not. I suppose it would depend if we use the darker side. Oh my goodness, 10 years. Yeah, that's a long time. Our nephew didn't have to do it quite that long. I think they were trying, well, it might have been about 10. It was 8 for sure. So we've got more of that. We need to have a piece that's at least 2 1/4. Let's just pull out all these scrappies. It's got to be 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So none of these are big enough. That one would be. I don't think we've got that color. Yeah, we don't have that color, so we could maybe make this one work. I wish I still had enough of this one. That one is super cute. I love that one. It's used up. I liked this paper a lot, I guess. You know, we could probably, because this card has a banner across the top, we could make this work. You know, putting a piece up there. Do we like this green? But then I still have to find something to go with the lapels. I wish I had another pack of this snowflake paper, because that was really pretty. Do you think these would work together? Because I don't know that I like the pretty peacock as the lapels. Because it would look kind of like that. Oh, it's going to be that way anyway, unless we cut other triangles. This is going to be a challenge. We could cut a bunch of triangles though. This one would be pieced together quite a bit more. But we could do it. So we could do a piece there and a piece there. Should we go for it? Should we go for these and this? Or should I just do the blue? Oh, what about this Christmas paper instead of the snowflakes? So this, the red and green, or the snowflakes? Red and green or snowflakes? Red and green. The red and green might be easier. We won't have as much opportunity for me to mess up my cutting. That was really pretty too. I should see if there's more paper, more of that, and maybe order it, because that's really pretty. But I've made so many Christmas cards this year. It's amazing. Easy way out. Yeah. Work smarter, not harder. All right. We're going to go red and green. All right. Let's take a peek. We've cut this up quite a bit too. Oh, definitely not that one. So we could do this set. Snowflakes. Colleen, that's going to be a challenge. We could do that one, or we could do this one. This one is probably not going to be the best choice because of the lapels. The flowers might not lay nice. And we've got this one, which is going to kind of be the same thing. Although we could do this as the side pieces and pull it over. You pick A. Which one was A? Last night, I think, was it last night? I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Rhea, you have to be a little more specific. Remember, there's a delay and I can't keep up sometimes. So we need to have a 6 by 6. Okay, 1. 1 or 2. Oh, this might be kind of cute too. And this will be 3. I think we have enough. We have enough. I could make this one work. All right, 1, 2, or 3. Let me get these other pieces out of the way. Sorry, Colleen. No snowflakes. So 1. We've got a couple of 1s coming in here. Now we got a couple of 3s. We got 3 3s. This is at, we don't have a black. I don't have a black backside. This is dark blue. So this is Secret C. We kind of have a tie. 1. Oh no, because Rhea voted twice. Red on dark blue. So we could do this red on here. Are you talking about mixing these? Or like this on the dark blue? But we have to worry about the lapels because it's basically one paper and you use the back side is how this was designed. I flipped it out with a little extra, but we still have to look at the back side of here for the lapels. No, the red in 3. So that's this one. Party pooper. Oh. All right, so this would be 3. So the red and the green. And if we swap out a piece, the lapels are going to clash. This one I got lucky because the blues actually work together. All right, so I'm seeing more 3s. Okay, fine. I love all the hearts, you guys. Thank you. I love it when we have fun. All right. Oh, we got the stripey going on here too. So we could do, oh, that would probably make me dizzy because this has stripes on it. So if we start going sideways, one would go up and one would go down. Yeah, that one's not going to work either. All right, so we're going to shoot for this one. We're going to see how it looks. So let's see if I have a 6x6 or if I have to piece it, which is fine. Okay, we got to piece it. This is all I have. So we're going to do 6x6 this way. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. These are two different greens. We might not be able to do it. Well, that's interesting. So that's, oh. Oh, this is a little darker. Well, this might be more of a challenge than I thought. Interesting. This clearly was my favorite because I don't have any left. Of course, I have this that's got a wreath embossed on it. So that's not going to work. Oh my goodness, your poor mind, Vicki. Imagine mine in my poor desk. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. All right. We could probably still make this work. We like this. I think we can make this work. Let's go for it. All right, so we need, if this is 6, we're gonna take off 3/4 of an inch. And we're gonna do this at 2.5. So that's going to be for our base. And then we need 2 pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. I'm going to go this way because that's a nicer cut on the end there. 1 3/4. Way to use up all my paper this year. I have been doing so good at using up my paper this year. It's amazing. All right. So this will be our lapels. We'll see how that looks. And then we can still use this piece for the inside border edge. So let's just see. Now we need to figure out a base. Maybe a green. Because the white's going to be pretty bright. So let me go find a couple of greens. Let's see what greens are in here. Old olive or old olive? Okay. So let's just burnish this. Who's interested in that product of the month? So this will go like this. We'll fold back the lapels. And then we will do our sentiment, and we'll see whether we want some foliage or not. All right. So I think that'll work. Yeah? All right, let's glue this down. I'm going to have to get out another bottle of glue again. So this is going to kind of go in the middle. Sometimes I just have to tilt them sideways. I don't know if that's because of my left-handedness or what it is. The product of the month started in December. So it just released yesterday. And it's a limited time offer. If you place a qualifying order, which is in the United States, $75 order before tax and shipping, you can add on the product of the month for $5 US dollars. I don't know how that translates to the South Pacific, but it's a regular size pack of designer series paper that you'll get for $5. It's 12 by 12, so there's 6 designs. They're two-sided, and these are some of the samples. This is the one that I cased last night. So this was my take on that layout, or our take. I don't know if we talked about it too much. Yeah, it's gorgeous paper. And it's Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue? Pool part. Yeah, Balmy Blue. So it's Navy, Night of Navy, and Balmy Blue. So I am Stampin' Up! Did a little showcase today with that paper for demonstrators. And I think it was just for demonstrators. But that's where I got this card idea, because this was the layout that they showcased with the new papers. And they had a lot of, well, not a lot. They had several other samples that were really quite nice. So I need to get another order ready, of course, so that I can get my product of the month. So you are limited to one product of the month for any given month's product. So let's say you didn't place an order in December that qualified. And if there's still product left over, which there's no guarantee, once it's gone, it's gone. It's in your cart. Good girl, Colleen. Once it's gone, it's gone. Something's just a little bit crooked here. But let's say there's some still left over in January. And if you play, oh, $9 for you. Okay. So let's say you didn't place an order in December. In January, you're like, oh, I wish I could have gotten that December paper. If there's still some left over, if you place a qualifying order, you can order one of the December product. You are limited to one of each month. All right. If you also want the January one, you have to place a separate order. So you can't place like 150 in the US. You couldn't do a double size order and order December and January's product of the month. You have to have separate orders because of however the system reads everything. It can't differentiate more than one product on an order for the product of the month. All right. So I think we're just going to go here and fold back. Whoops, I can't have it go that far because my designer series paper doesn't go that far. All right, so I guess we'll come across to here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. because measuring is a lot of work sometimes. Now, this would make a cute shirt too. They have a shirt here, like a polo shirt. Like that would make like a nice Father's Day card if you recognize Father's Day where you are. But this is just a tag that they lined up to look like the collar and the pocket. So that could be cute. I mean, this almost looks like a little collar thing depending on how you did your paper. But anyway. All right. So we're going to do this. Make that go a little further. And then this one. All right. And then let's go ahead and trim this one down a little bit. And I'm just going to do this one at 4 by 5 1/4. And that'll go on the inside. Yeah, I think it's at least for the first month, because this designer series paper is very pretty. It'll probably be popular. Stampin' Up! Has tried to plan ahead. This is a brand new program, so they don't know what the response is going to be like, but they're hoping they will have enough product to go at least through the first few weeks of the month. So, you know, if they run out toward the end of the month, that's a great problem to have. Not ideal, because you'd like everybody who wants it to be able to get it, but you just never know how that's going to work. So that's pretty bright. Maybe I should do some ink blending on there with Old Olive. What do you think? Or where is my Night of Navy ink? Do we want to do the same sentiment? Wishing you a year of wonder? Probably not. Or we could go this way on this one. No, I kind of like this better. You're so appreciated. You're the best. Thank you. May your day be filled with love, light, wonder, magic. You are a wonder. Embrace the magic. I don't know, tough decision. Now we're down to sentiments again. Sometimes that takes us longer than anything else. This is probably Secret C. I'm going to go get my Secret C ink. And then I also need to trim down a piece of this. It's already 5 1/4. Because this will go over here. Or we could put one on both sides, but I think there with just a little border. Or, I have an idea. Let's fold this in half. And what if we did some corners? What do you think? So I cut those corners off of here, and all I'm going to do here now is cut a straight edge here, and I'll have the opposite corner Thank you, you're the best. So what do we think of that for the inside? Just something a little different. Okay. All right, so let's do you're the best, or thank you. You're the best. Oops, let's get my secret C. And let's get my trimmer out of the way. And let's pull this in. Do we want this embossed, heat embossed again? Or just matte ink? Thank you. You're the best. Offset or right on top? So many decisions. So many decisions. Heat embossed. Awesome. I was hoping somebody was going to answer. All right. Okay, I guess I need a block for this, right? That might be helpful. And then we're going to do Versamark, Versamark. Ink. Ink. I might not have quite enough ink on there. We'll see how this does. It's looking a little dry. Time to re-ink my Secret C. Oh, but it looks like it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. How often have you heard me say that? It'll be fine. All right, here we go. Off center, I think I didn't do it off center. I just now saw that, Colleen, sorry. All right, I think we're good. All right. So then the other thing we need to do then is, do we want this edged in like Secret C? We might want it edged at the top this time instead of on the sides like this one, because we've got the bright green there. So maybe Secret C in just a solid color. Let me get a piece of Secret C. And I need to find the correct dies. They're here somewhere. Where, oh where did I put the dies? I don't remember putting anything away. It's the Label Me Grateful set. Where did it go? Oh, here they are. Whew, that's crazy. All right. And then, do we want to do the same foliage, or do we want to do like oak leaves and acorns? If we're going to give this to a guy, do we want a little more nature-y? I'm going to clean these stamps off too so I can put them away and not lose them. Not lose track of what set they go with. That chamois is awesome. All right, where was I? You are all die-hard crafting people, aren't you? We're closing in on 2 hours pretty soon. I better pick it up. We've been going a little over an hour and a half. Good thing I had a nap. All right, so this one, we'll trim it. Lengthwise. And Juju, how much sleep are you going to get before you have to get up for work? Or did you take a nap also? Crafting shopper. Crafting is for other people. Well, do you need gifts? Because that 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar would make an awesome gift for your crafting friends. All right, I'm going to trim these edges kind of like I did the last time. So 4 hours of sleep for you and a nap. I usually try to get about 6 hours. I can function pretty well with 6. If I consistently get less than that, my heart rate will remind me that it needs more sleep. You had a long one tonight too, Vicki? I think you were on a couple of hours when I popped on, or when I was leaving, I don't remember. 3 hours. Wow. All right, so we're gonna go like this. Put a nice little border on there. And then this one will go here. I think that'll give it a nice border. I'm just gonna put it kind of narrow. Still waiting for OPM to process your pension. Government worker? I don't remember. Because when I worked for the feds, we had OPM. I'm pretty sure it was OPM. Yeah, I worked for the VA for just 2 years. But then I worked county government and state government and municipal government as well. And then way back when, I did retail. The state processes our retirement very efficiently. They want like 6 weeks notice, and I had my I had all my retirement numbers like in 4 days. So I had 33 years, 33 with our state and county governments, and they were the same retirement system, luckily. And then I had just 2 years with the feds. So what are we thinking as far as, and good for you, by the way. Congrats for making it that long. My husband was a police officer for 40. I don't have, my attention span's not quite that long. All right, so do we want to do acorn-ish and oak leaves? Or do we just want to do foliage like we did the last time? What do you think? Any choices? Any specificity? Otherwise, I'm just going to do my own thing. Oak. Good. All right, oak leaves. I'm going to do that in the blue. And one of our papers had brown. I can do that. Sorry, I just had to have a piece of candy because my stomach is growling horribly again. And I even ate before I came online. It's crazy. All right, let's get little Betsy out here again. Get these out of the way. All right, so we're going to do that. And oak leaf. Ooh, that's cool with this designer series paper. So is that. And then let's just take a look at this acorn with the blue paper. And we'll just see. And Vicky, by the way, 3 hours is a very long time to be live. That's kind of pretty. I guess I need that die again. Oh, and Vicky, I had wondered if you got your little die cutting machine to work, and Juju said that you had, so that's a good thing. I think we'll do one more in brown so we can take a look, and then I'll do another oak leaf set as well. Maybe I'll have room for one more oak leaf set just in case we need it. This is probably not going to want to go through because I don't have the plates lined up right. I thought I could sneak it through, but nope. All right, so Vicki, you were for the state for 33 years. Inspector of nursing home. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So the bulk of my career was working in the criminal court system. And then I became an EMT and I went to the VA for a while. I also worked for a private hospital system for a while. And then I ended up in the college system here. So lots of life experience. And I'm much happier retired. All right, so let's take a look. Let's bring this little guy back in here. And before we do too much, let me get these dies back on here so that I don't lose them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I like to do my head count just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, that's got to be hard when you're doing neglect things. I know when I worked at the hospital, we had the sexual assault cases that would come through. When I worked for the VA, when I was, I worked at the James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center. And my first year there, I worked with the geri-psych patients that were in facility. They were in lockdown just because of their mental status. And then my second year, I worked in the special medical exams unit. And we scheduled all the exams for the military personnel that were getting discharged to see if they qualified for any kind of disability benefits. And then at the college, it was much, much different. But, you know, there are similarities even between all of those jobs. So when I worked for the court system, you had, you know, the criminals, the attorneys and the judges. When I worked at the VA, you had the patients and the doctors. When I worked at the college, you had the students and the instructors. And lots of paperwork. Good thing I'm using the liquid glue. That gave me a little wiggle room. So I think putting these little triangles on here will tie in the front to the inside of the card, but it also gives the inside of the card just a little more personality too. A lot easier than trying to cut this in an unusual diamond shape, right? So the other way you could have cut these is just to make a rectangle and then cut it diagonally, and you would have gotten the same thing that I did. I just cut off my triangle first and then I cut the other triangle off because it's like, oh, that'll work. All right. So there's our inside. That's kind of fun. I've not done that before. All right, so let's go back to the front. Colleen, you've only got 7 years left. That's not so bad. You can do it. All right, so if this is gonna go here, we're gonna do some little foliage on here maybe. The oak leaves and then the acorn pieces. That stripy side probably would have been kind of fun too. Yeah, I am really enjoying retirement. My friend Linda, she's on my team, but we work together through the college. She tells people that I'm rocking retirement. Some people kind of struggle with it. Not me. I am all in. What do we think? Yeah, you're loving it too, Rio? You know, some people are like, oh, I have to get a part-time job. I can't, you know, sit and do nothing. I'm like, I don't sit and do nothing. I'm busy all the time. Oh, thanks, Colleen. Yeah, that was super easy to just make it a little different. But then we've got, you know, the lapel triangles here that are carried over to the inside. So, Vicki, you had lots of court time, lots of report writing. Yeah, retirement's awesome. Yeah, my degree is in criminal justice, so go figure. I worked for the court system for 23 years. All right, so do we think we should put oak leaves on top of the label at all, or just tuck them underneath? And I'm going to burnish these a little bit more because they're not laying very flat for me. I don't know if I burnished those actually. And if you think they're too flippy, you can always glue them down. But I just kind of like the look of them kind of loose because it gives some extra texture to the card. On the top too. Okay, I get it now. So we could go like this, because I don't particularly like the look of just the stems hanging there, but I do like that. And then we could, I like the brown and I like the blue. So we could do something like that. Of course, I could probably try to cut these leaves apart too and tuck them. And maybe I don't really need a whole lot. Maybe I just need these couple and some oak leaves down at the bottom. What do you think? Or maybe I should put the oak leaf cluster at the top and the acorns hanging from the bottom. Yes, crafting every day, Colleen. And I do, you know, partially because I do my lives every day. But I'm literally in my craft room every single day. So even Thanksgiving, when I decided to take the day off, I was still doing some things earlier. So that was fun. Do we think the leaves are good on the bottom, or should I put the leaves on the top? Should it be weighted heavier on the top? I like them hanging over the label. There's just more label space here, so that's why I thought maybe the leaves need it to be up there. Heavier on top, yeah. How's that? And then just not use this one, because it's still heavier on top because I've got more acorns on the top. Leaf on the label, so I got leafage over here. That works? Okay, good. I got thumbs up from Linda. So I think what we could do is cut part of the stem off, and that I can get them, then I can get them a little higher up on the label. Or can I? That'll work pretty good, I think. Let's get a little bit of glue on here. Maybe. Usually when I tap it like that, it comes out a little faster, a little sooner. Little acorns here. Tuck that little one in there. And let's put, I'll tuck that back in a minute. Let's put some tear and tape on the back of here so I can put that on. I think that'll work. That's kind of cute. All right, and then let's put some dimensionals on here. And I'm going to use the black dimensionals, if I can find them. Oh, I can finish off another piece. All the edges are gone of that one too. I'm going to have to eat again before I go to sleep. All right. So this little stem I'm going to tuck under that lapel. That'll be fine. I think there's a little bit of glue on the tip of that leaf, so I'm just going to tack it down. And then this we're going to glue on here. And then I had a little, here we go, had a little acorn here that I cut off. I'm just going to tuck that inside the stem here. So it looks like there's more branching out going on. That's fun. And then I think we'll just put one more with the blue behind here. I think that'll be good. Okay, those will be extras. I don't think we really need any more. Oh, maybe. They are adorable acorns. I love those. They're very cute. Just put a few more on here. There, I think that works. And then, let's see. What do you think of these? These are the streaked dots that kind of go with the acorns. Oops, that didn't take the glue dot with it. There we go. There. And I even have most of my mess under control. Most of it. Kind of. All right, so there's our two cards. Flashy and earthy. So we had to pivot because we didn't have all the papers that everybody liked, but I think it turned out all right. Thank you all for your collaboration. Thanks for hanging with me this long, those of you that are still hanging out. And thank you for all the hearts. If you can give me a thumbs up on your way out, we'll do our little thumbs up here too. Well, thank you, Linda. They're fun, you know, a 6x6 piece of designer series paper or the equivalent, and we're good to go. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on your way out, feel free to share the video. Feel free to make these projects. You know, it's not my idea. I got it from Stampin' Up. And they do good work. You know, it's pretty stuff. So don't forget, if you shop with me in the US, I have a new online store link. So it's latenightlori.stampinup.net. So I will see everybody in what, like 22 hours-ish? Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Until next time, happy crafting. Sleep well. Colleen, enjoy the rest of your day. Well, everybody else, whoever's here from Australia still, enjoy what's left of your day. And we'll catch you next time. Happy crafting.